Hello and welcome back to one of our mini training sessions on Workbooks CRM aimed at existing Workbooks users or indeed anyone seriously looking at Workbooks as a new CRM system. And in this one, we're going to cover collaborative team selling and internal communications, internal comms with Workbooks CRM. So in sales, none of us are working in a vacuum. Generally, Workbooks, CRM systems, they're really good when they're working with a team of people, not just one person working on their own. And success generally comes better with working together, sharing insights on clients and opportunities, making sure everyone's got the best information they need in front of them to move inquiries, to move deals forwards. So in this session, we're going to explore how Workbooks CRM makes this all possible, covering features, some of the features that you may be aware of if you're existing Workbooks users, but features like comments, queues, shared activities and notes, bulletins, and more, all designed to help you and your team collaborate kind of seamlessly and get better results. So, hello, my name is Tim Willott, and I'm joined by my colleague Stuart Lawrence and Hind. And our company, Wizard Systems, we're a leading independent CRM solutions provider of systems like Workbooks. And we help out organizations use simple and affordable solutions to improve their sales, marketing, and customer service productivity. Now, those of you on here live, the audio part of this presentation is one way only. If you've got any questions, please type those into the question box on your meeting control panel, and Stuart and I would do our best to answer those at the end. Okay, let me now pass over to my colleague.
Thank you, Tim. So this might sound like a bit of a mouthful, sort of collaborative team selling and internal communication, but it's the heart of a CRM. By getting all your teams or individuals on the same page and in the loop, you've got a better understanding of what's going on around you. So let's start with these teams. In Workbooks, we call them queues. By having these, we can share work and information across a team or even just a group of people. So this could be incoming sales or support issues. Now, rather than assign these to one person, we can get the whole team to look after them. So here I'm on my leads landing page. This is all the leads. You can see straight away I've got some nice filters working, and I've grouped them by the status so I can look after the ones that are hot, that are warm, that are cold, and I can go through them. But the bit that's interesting here is this column, and you can see that they're assigned to the sales team, which means everybody in this sales team is looking after them, not one person. So let's pop in and have a look at Aiden just very quickly, and you can see there, sales team. So anybody could open this record within the sales team and update it, can help qualify it, close it and save it and look after it. So who's in this team? I can go and have a quick look, have a look at the sales team, and it's these four people here. So any one of these four people are looking after these leads. And if you're an administrator or have sufficient rights, you can add people to this list. It's called subscribing. You add people to the queue. So that's great. Everybody can look after it. You know what's going on. But what happens if you're not a member of the sales team? Now, you can see the leads, but you're not a member of this sales team, so you won't see the leads as they come in. But there's an extra feature in Workbooks, again, that makes life really easy. And just if you want to stay up to date, for instance, you might be an account manager of an area, just want to keep an eye on something. And again, this works across Workbooks, but I can open any record here, and rather than try and get myself assigned to the queue, which would involve going to admin to get you to do it, but that would be bad because you'd suddenly get loads of notifications about all the sales leads. You can just go to a record, just say, I want to watch it. Watching it. In other words, I'm following this lead. And I'll get notifications about this particular record. when it's updated, if the status changes, I'll be told. When I've finished wanting to look after this record, I keep an eye on it, I just stop watching it. That's it. That's all I need to do just to follow that one particular record. And again, it works across the system. So what else can we do here? So as I mentioned, or Tim mentioned, sorry, there's another way with which we can communicate and make sure the right people are looking at a record. So I'm going to quickly switch to a person for this one. So I've got Alan here. I go to his main record, and I can see here that Alan is works for Atlantic Services. And what normally happens is that if you want to find out some information about this, you would send an email to a colleague or to another team. But the problem with that is there is a chance it will start to fill up the email tab of the system. Rather than it just being relevant to this record, it's all conversations going backwards and forwards. So is there an easier way? Well, yes, there is. There's this little icon here. It's the speech bubble. If I click it, a new window opens up on the right-hand side, and it's a built-in chat service. But here's the clever part. Anything we type here only relates to this particular record, Alan. So anything I write here is used by anybody that's assigned to this record or watching this record. And the neat sort of part of this is, it's not just chat. I can attach a file. Especially if I've got an image or a picture or a file that I want to put into this that I think might help someone, I can put it into here as well. You'll also notice there's some clever little extra sort of chat features in that I can use the speech bubble in a chat. I just add a speech bubble, and it'll bring up all the relevant people that can view this record. So I could email it. I could just contact a single person. This is just sending a message to one person. You can see it, Eddie, at the top. Someone's messaged Eddie about, has Alan spoken to you about this new product? Well, there's a general chat as well, but it's a great, simple system to keep you up to date without clogging up the system. And remember, it's everywhere throughout the CRM. So let's look at another way to handle communications. Now, this one's a little bit more general, but it's still helpful. And it's called the Bulletins and Welcome Message feature. And if I go down to my icon here and bring up the bulletins, it shows the two features, new bulletin, new welcome. What's the difference, I hear you ask? Right, okay. A bulletin is a pop-up message that appears at a set time. And a welcome message is the one that appears when you log into Workbooks. Now, I won't make one, but I'll show you how easy they are. So if I pick a bulletin, you'd give it a title, select the audience. Now, the audience could be absolutely everybody. But again, if I use well done, and I pick salesperson, I can send a message to everybody who's in that queue. A nice message. It could be that a sale's been closed or a project has been completed. And on the right-hand side, I can decide when this message is to go out. So I could say it's going to go out at 3 o'clock this afternoon. I want this message to stop at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. So it's just a message, and it's almost like a broadcast message, but it will only be seen by those people in that particular queue. It could be one person, it could be an entire queue. If it's blank, it's the entire system. But that's a bulletin. And a welcome message works the same way. It's just only visible when you log into the system. Okay, so that's, again, another way of getting your information out to people. So let's have a look at collaboration. So we've got Alan's record open. This is Alan. We know that he works for Atlantic Services. And we've used his record before on lots of our 101s. And we can see the comments. Here, as I said, it's available throughout the system. And I've got a full series of tabs across the top that helps us work with Alan. So how do we make this work better? Well, we've got all the activities. And again, it's a nice sort of way to work. To think of groups. So you've got all your standard filters that you can use, but by grouping these, I can see at a glance who's been working with these records and grouped by the person that did it. It's making it nice and easy to see. It just helps keep it clean. And there's all the activities, all the online activities, and all the emails. Oh, and another great one here is notes. Now, notes in CRMs, some people say they're generally bad because it just becomes a catch-all for everything. But in Workbooks, they've taken it one step further. And within a note, I bring up a blank one here. I can give it a subject, and I can add files to it and store it against Alan's record. Just keeping it really quick. So a note, you're not just limited to just text. So a note becomes something to help us understand this record. So along with the activities and emails, we can help keep everything up to date. Now, while we're on Alan's record, let's have a look. We can see that again, we've got some basic information. Alan works for Atlantic. We're covered by that one organization, so that fits. But there are 3 people on Alan's record. Well, let's drop in on this, have a look. And now we're building a better picture. We've got Adam is a colleague of Alan. We've got Gracie, works for Alan, and Sienna manages Alan. So this is great. It's much better than just having Adam is head of services and Gracie is head of manager. We know where Adam stands within this organization. Now, this was all added manually and helps us build up a picture as users. So by managing these relationships between people and between the organizations, we get a clear view of the records. And we know that almost any record in Workbooks can be assigned to a queue or a group of users. And it just makes sure that the right people are kept up to date while allowing others to collaborate as needed just by using that little watch feature. We've brought together communications using comments and bulletins. Hopefully this removes the need to keep emailing your colleagues or getting up and walking across to ask them. All of this leads to a better CRM and one that works for you. And I hope that gives you a better understanding. And with that, I'll pass things back to Tim.
Thanks very much, Stuart. So yeah, just to summarize, one, think about queues, particularly in areas like leads or customer support. Think about that watch button as well. Selectively clicking on that to monitor important information. Secondly, activities. We showed you grouping by a bit of information, grouping by the user, grouping by the assigned user. So you can quickly see, group by that information, what's happening on that account. And think about notes as well, general notes. Bulletins, that's where you're going to get your workbooks updates as well, information coming from workbooks, but that can be used as an internal tool also to help share information to workbooks users via their job role. Comments, think about that as internal chat, all right? So you're having a bit of a natter about a particular account, contact, opportunity, whatever. And then finally, relationships, all about managing those networks and the kind of connectivity of people together, groups of companies as well, and just really describing the relationships of one of these people or organizations to other. Really, really important. So before we dive into any questions around this, or indeed any other Workbooks topic that you would like to ask us about, brief mention about Wizard Systems again. We're a long-standing provider of CRM solutions. We've been providing CRM systems well over 30 years now. And as regards Workbooks, we're a one-stop shop. We provision the product, we get it set up for you, full implementation and consultancy, all the training you need to get you going. That can be at your place, our place, or online, and all the ongoing help desk support as well. So you're not on your own. We're in it together, making sure you get the most out of Workbooks. So let's see if there's any questions. First question from Nina. How can we use advanced automation and workflow rules in Workbooks CRM to ensure that all team members are notified and assigned tasks at specific stages of a complex sales opportunity without creating notification overload, which Stuart mentioned? I want to try and be sensible with these notifications. But yeah, what about that one, Stuart?
Wow.
Rules
Right.
in Workbooks to ensure team members get those important notifications.
I think the way I would start, and this is probably one that could be built up over time, is I would start with a process that makes sure that, we take the leads record as an example. I would make sure that there is a process that monitors these leads to make sure there is always a pending activity, that these leads aren't allowed to fall through the cracks. And so this process could be monitoring on a continuous basis just to make sure that there's always a pending. It doesn't have to alert anybody. Of course, it could be told to just alert that queue, this sales lead queue, that this record needs looking at. But yeah, I'd start with a process for there isn't a pending activity, or probably a very good place to start.
Yeah, I would say because in workbooks there's normally more than one way of alerting someone, notifying someone of some important thing or what they've got to do next. Have like an agreement between you as regards what type of activity. Of course, you can create any number of custom activity types in workbooks. So you want to make sure you all agree on one, and what that kind of method is when step one passes over to step two, and who's going to do what to who and when and why, sort of thing. So yeah, the system is going to help you with those workflow rules, and we have covered that on previous 101 sessions. Also, make sure you do thorough testing as well of any automation that you roll out in workbooks. Make sure it works okay before rolling it out. And yes, that kind of internal agreement on, what types of tasks you're going to send out notifications on. Yeah, good question. Brandon is asking, what are the best practices for using the comments and queues features together in Workbooks CRM to manage handovers and maintain a clear audit trail with when multiple teams, sales, pre-sales, customer services are collaborating on the same opportunity? That's another good one. Yeah, right. Shall I have a tackle of that one, Stuart?
Please, yes.
Again, it's going to be down to communicating with the team and agreeing with the team at what stage in the sales process. So I guess so you're saying collaborating on the same opportunity. Well, again, against the opportunity, you've got, as we've covered in the demo, you've got comments, you've got that watch facility, you've got activities, you've got notes. You can see everyone that's involved, anyone that's had some kind of interaction with our opportunity. As regards handover, yeah, typically, I guess you're hinting there at a complete sales process where initially you might have the pre-sales or business development people handling the kind of all the before sales activities, and then when this thing becomes a sale, you get the order, it's then passed over to other people. So again, you're going to have to think, well, at what stage in the process does this opportunity go from one group of people to another group of people? So you can use those teams. You could also store against an opportunity. An opportunity may not have just one owner. It may have multiple owners. Could be a queue of people. You could have nominated people. So against an opportunity, You could have primary salesperson, before that, a primary pre-salesperson, primary salesperson, primary customer service person. So there could be some kind of ownership against that record. Yes, so using all those features of workbooks, comments, queues, watch list, and some kind of agreed, some kind of internal agreement on who does what to who and when and why. That would improve that would be a best practice, I would say, in my experience. Anything to add to that, Stuart, at all? Comments and queues features together.
No, I think with what you've said, I mean, what used to be a chat with somebody saying, I'm going to give you this record, or can you take over this case for me, now can be done within the system by, obviously you'd reassign it, but I think the comments is a cleaner way of doing it, because you can say, you can actually put in the comments, hi, I'm going to give this record to you to look after. But as you said, it's all down to your practice and your process and making sure that, again, nothing falls through the cracks.
No, you do have, of course, you do have that audit trail in workbooks. So on the summary tab, you can see blow by blow what's happened against that opportunity from year dot through to the current date time. You can see in date order, what's happened there, and critical changes in that opportunity, and changes to any information that you're storing against it. So yeah, we'll give you a call afterwards, Brandon, just to make sure you're okay on that. Right, I don't think there's any more questions. Stuart, let me check again. No, there isn't. Okay, well, then just to wrap things up, as of June 2025, we're on 7.4 of workbooks. Do you fancy a CRM review there? Normally, we do these on an annual basis with our customers to formally check in with them to make sure they're all okay and you're getting maximum value out of workbooks, and to come up with a plan going forwards the next 6 months, 12 months or beyond, how to get more out of CRM. So contact us or contact any of us if you'd like more information on that. And do you have any topic suggestions for future 101 sessions? We did have one the other week on searching in workbooks, so we may dive deeper into searching, all the search options that you've got with workbooks on our next 101. So thanks very much, those of you on here live, or if you're watching a recording, and we'll catch up with you soon on another Workbooks event. Thanks very much indeed. Bye-bye.